It is 2026, a year where the economy is terrible. Today, I wanted to talk about more budget-friendly ways to start your digital art journey in 2026. Things have gotten a little bit more expensive. As somebody who once was a younger artist who thought I needed to have the best of the best drawing tablet in order to draw, that is definitely not the case. It's all about how you use said device, not the device itself. Some devices can make things easier, but that doesn't necessarily make you a better artist. So today I want to talk about more budget-friendly ways you can start your digital art journey in 2026. Number 1, drawing tablets. We're starting off with the devices itself. If you are looking for a budget-friendly way to start your digital art journey and you're looking for a device to start out with, I would highly recommend the Wacom Intuos drawing tablets. The least expensive out of the three is the Wacom Intuos Small. It's ranges from like $30 to $40, and it uses a USB to connect to your laptop. So it's very easy to use, very easy to install. I think all you have to do is just download the drivers and that's about it. After that, it's the Wacom Intuos Small, but with a Bluetooth connectivity if you don't want to deal with the wire. And after that is the Wacom Intuos Medium. And I believe that one also has a Bluetooth connectivity, and that one is $129, while the small with a Bluetooth is $80, and then the smallest of them all is $40. But basically, you don't have to get it's all personal preference for me. I don't have any issues with drawing on a smaller screen. Even my iPad Pro is like the smallest one, or at least was the smallest one at the time that I bought it. But for me, I still have my Intuos. It's still in my art supplies bin. I don't use it as often, obviously. I have my Huon, but it still works perfectly fine. That thing has lasted me for years. I started off with these types of tablets. I think my very first one was the Wacom Splash tablet, which I'm pretty sure is discontinued, if I'm not mistaken, which I also think I do still have. But anyway, the Intuos I ended up getting in college, and that's what I used when I was an animation major. And yeah, that thing lasted me for years and years and years, still works perfectly fine. I highly recommend. You don't need a screen in order to do digital art. It almost works exactly the same way, drawing on the tablet versus drawing on something with a screen. But yeah, I highly recommend, if you are just starting out, to start with one of these, see if you like it. There's no point in spending hundreds of $1,000s on a drawing tablet. I even have a Huon. I don't even have a Cintiq. I think mine was about $300 to $400, but that's still, it's more budget friendly than a Wacom, but still pretty expensive. And I think if you're just starting out, you don't need to commit to a drawing tablet you don't need to contribute to a drawing tablet that is that expensive. It is completely not necessary. You can achieve the same art goals that you want to achieve with a tablet like this. For those of you who still want a drawing tablet with a screen, I also recommend going for an older iPad model and getting a first generation pencil. Obviously, it's not like the Pro where the Apple Pencil to drawing tablet connectivity is perfect. At least when it comes to like the sensitivity, it might not be 100%, or at least it might not be as accurate as an iPad Pro, but it's slightly more expensive than the Intuos, but still a less expensive version. If you want to still get like Procreate or something, it is $20. It's not completely free, but it's also not ridiculously expensive. So still a more budget-friendly option, slightly more on the expensive end. Yeah. Also, with part of this of being a digital artist, no drawing tablet is perfect. I think in the past I kind of was on the mindset of like, oh, I need the best of the best drawing tablet in order to make the art that I want. I kind of had that mindset up until I went to art school, just because they had Cintiqs in all the labs. All that to say is that every drawing tablet has its issues, especially when it comes to the pen sensitivity or the pen to screen distance when you are drawing, like how accurate it is. Even with my iPad Pro, I have issues with specifically Procreate and much more with Clip Studio Paint actually, where I'm drawing and it's just leaving random pen streaks on my canvas or random marks and I don't know which layer it's on, and it's a whole thing. So all that to say is, like, even when you do get these, more expensive drawing tablets, there are things that are better about them. There are things that are better quality. However, that doesn't mean that they're 100% perfect. So moving on to drawing programs, there are a lot of free drawing programs online that you can find, either free versions of programs that do cost a lot of money. I do not have the resources or information on that, so I at most am going to recommend Krita. I'm going to make a video in the future about which free drawing program is the best, but Krita is a very popular one. It's free to download, it's pretty easy to use, and also when it comes to drawing programs, once you learn how to do one, you can kind of figure out the others. They're all slightly different, but they do share a lot of the same features and hotkeys and things like that. The nice thing, however, about not knowing how to use a drawing program is that there's a lot of resources on YouTube for tutorials. So yeah, starting off with a new drawing program can be a bit intimidating, but there are a lot of tutorials on how to use them right here on YouTube or any other resources like Reddit. This next section isn't so much about devices, but more affordable ways to hone in on your art skills. So I feel like now I'm seeing a lot of art courses online, which is great. I think if you are somebody who wants to buy a course or wants to make a course, that's wonderful. I think that as artists, we do need to help each other. However, if you are not in the budget to be in an art course, YouTube is still a great and reliable source for art tutorials and art advice and occasionally even critiques. Some artists that I do recommend if you do want to improve your digital art journey or just art journey in general, Cynic's Design is a art YouTuber. They have a lot of great videos about anatomy and coloring, so I highly recommend to check their channel out. They're very popular. A lot of the people that I'm going to name right now do have a pretty large following, so I'm sorry if you are aware of these people, but if you're not, still great resources. I really like their videos for anatomy specifically and coloring. If you're like me and you also like concept art or just sketchbook art in general, Proco, I love this channel. They have a lot of interesting videos about concept art, concept design, and also a lot of videos about like artists showing their sketchbooks, which I think is really interesting. Definitely check them out. I think they have some courses that are paid on their website, but they have a lot of useful videos on their YouTube, so definitely check them out. Also, some honorable mentions that I wanted to showcase. If you're looking for something that's not like technology related, if you want to go for more art related books, some helpful ones. This is more so specifically if I'm more of a character artist. So if you are looking for help with like anatomy, I really like the Morpho books. They're very, 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 very helpful when it comes to showing anatomy and proportions. I also really like Andrew Loomis books, specifically his How to Draw Head and Hands. That one has been very helpful for me, especially because, I don't know, heads sometimes can be a little tricky for me. So his books are very, very nice and helpful. And if you are an animator, I really just like the Richard Williams Animators Survival Guidebook. This one's a classic. I think that honestly every artist should have a copy in their home somewhere. Very nice, very like beginner friendly. I think there's a free PDF copy. If I do find free PDF copies of any of these books, I will link them down below. But overall, a lot of these books are not super expensive. A lot of the Morpho books are about $11. And I think the Andrew Loomis book I got for about $30, so a little bit up there for an art book, but yeah, if I can find cheaper alternatives for any of these books, I will link them down below. If not, I'll just link the Amazon link for it or whatever website that I can find for it. Yeah. My reason for making this video is mainly because my art journey for 2026, I've been wanting to do a lot more. However, things have becoming a lot more expensive, like I was saying in the beginning of this video. And I know this isn't just a struggle for me right now, but it's going on for everybody with the way the economy is. And at least with making these videos, I want to be able to provide resources for other people that are affordable or preferably free, just to kind of help people out right now. Because like I said, you don't need the most expensive equipment to be a digital artist or an artist in general. I feel like people kind of forget that there are a lot of more affordable and free resources online, and I did not start that way. I didn't start off with the best equipment. You know, sometimes you just have to work with what you have, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can still accomplish your goals with equipment that isn't with equipment that's not $1,000 or a program that's, not $70 a month. You can still create with more affordable resources, and I want to be able to provide those resources. So like I said, links will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you stuck around this far, I hope that I was able to provide some information that was helpful for you, and good luck on your art journey.